So, Game 7 between the Celtics and the Heat for a second consecutive year. It's the first time that's happened since 81-82 when Boston and Philly met in Game 7s in back-to-back years.
Mindset doesn't shift, and so you just can't relax.
What'd you draw up there on that final play, and how heady a play was that? Was Derek to see that opening and cut to the rim to go for that offensive rebound?
Yeah, really just tried to get it to a spot where we can take 1 or 2 dribbles and get a shot, and they did a good job of denying with the inbounder, which is always a hard read. But at the end of the games like that, you know, our guys talk about just crashing at the end of the game, giving it a chance, and D. White made a great play. Smart made a great play getting open to get a shot off, and, you know, D. White made a great play.
Joe, what went through your mind? Did you know it was good?
I had no idea. No.
What went through your mind when it was ruled? Nothing?
Game 7.
Coach, how would you describe the personality of this team? I mean, you were down 3-0. It seemed like you guys, from what we saw on the court, you seemed a little disconnected. All of a sudden, you come together and you force a Game 7. How would you describe the personality of your club?
Yeah, they're just resilient. You know, I've said it throughout the year, that's one of the best locker rooms I've ever been a part of. It starts with them. They have a togetherness. They have a connectivity. And, you know, they just, at the hardest times, they, you know, stick by each other. And they've done that for a long time. And so credit to them.
Joe, you talk about three-point shooting. You shot 20%, outscored by 21 at the three-point line. How do you pull off a win when there's that big of a disparity for you guys?
Just figure it out. Just make plays. You know, each guy in that team just made plays down the stretch. And, you know, obviously you have to have some luck on your side. They missed some open shots. We missed some open shots. But you just got to stay in the fight and make the next best play you can. And I thought each guy on the team did that.
Joe, you guys were up 10 with about 4 minutes left. What did you see over that stretch there where you went about 0 for 6 over the next, you know, string of possessions there?
I saw all 6 bricks. They went zone, slowed us down a little bit. We got some really good looks. Just didn't make them, but, you know, we kept chipping away at it. I liked just the resiliency that the guys played with. We had some opportunities to crash. We did that, and just resiliency from the guys. You know, so that's it.
You said looking at Game 7, we got to remember what got us here. How did you guys get here? Only 4 teams in NBA history have even forced to Game 7 down 0-3.
Faith, love, togetherness, physicality, belief, hope, all those things combined. But it starts with the locker room. So those guys had a choice to make, and they chose to believe in each other.
Joe, you've remained incredibly steady throughout this entire series, and the team has continued to re-emphasize locking in and being together. So how do you feel like the tone that you set here allows the team to not panic in these huge moments?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And so I think we just feed off each other in that standpoint of, these are the circumstances, and, you know, what do we have to do to figure it out? And it starts with them. And so each one of those guys, like I said, goes into a different level of who they are as a person and as a player, and, you know, starts with them in the locker room.
Joe, obviously Derek White had the game-winning offensive rebound, but you had a few key offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. Just what's it say about these guys that even when the shots aren't falling, they're finding ways to kind of keep possessions alive and give themselves a chance?
I mean, that was always the question, right? Like, what happens when we don't shoot the ball well? And I think the guys buying into those corner crashing opportunities is what gave us a chance. And I think those things are important. And we had some of that in Game 5, and then, you know, we had some more of that tonight.
Joe, what did you make of the activity and presence of your bigs, Al Horford and Robert Williams tonight?
Those 2 guys, you know, they don't probably get enough credit. They're just, you know, staples for us on both ends of the floor. And when they play with the level of physicality and presence for us, we're a different team. And, you know, there's a bunch of guys on our team that have different gifts, you know, that they bring to the table outside of basketball. And Al and Rob are 2 guys that bring a sense of joy and just bring a sense of steadiness. And so we really rely on them for that. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Joe Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics. This game winner put them on the brink of history. It's the first Game winner in the playoffs by a team facing elimination since
And that toughness that allows him to still play at a high level.
Here's Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra.
Tatum, you know, ideally you would think, you know, you hope you do the right things, you know, that thing just bounced a different way. That's the only place it could have bounced to hurt us. I thought we had a lot of things covered on that play, and that sometimes things just don't break your way. I don't think there's any regrets on that. It's just a shame, you know. But look, this is the way this season's been. This is a one hell of a series. At this time right now, I don't know how we're going to get this done, but we're going to go up there and get it done. And that's what the next 48 hours is about. There's been nothing easy about this season for our group, and so we just have to do it the hard way. And that's just the way it's got to be, you know, for our group. And we wish we could tip this thing off right now. Right now, we want to tip this thing off. Let's play another 48 minutes, but we'll wait 48 hours and do this thing in Boston.
Spo, on a night that not a lot of shots were falling for Jimmy, what did he show you and what he was able to do down the stretch to give you guys a shot? Yeah,
just a competitive will. You know, a lot of things weren't going for us offensively. You do have to credit Boston. They jammed us up, and it looked like at one point, and we were in the 80s, you know, but this group has a competitive will and a competitive want to win that is up there with any team I've ever coached. And we were down 10, and our guys just feel perfectly normal in that kind of scenario. Made a bunch of plays. You know, we got some timely defensive stops, and, you know, Jimmy drew a couple fouls, and then that one right there, you just think, you know, the basketball gods, you know, things are going to go in your favor, but it doesn't always work out your way. So then you got to do it the hard way. And it's a 7-game series. There's nothing better than Game 7s.
So to follow up on what you just touched on, you have praised this team's competitive will repeatedly throughout the postseason. How do you get them over the emotional hurdle of losing in literally the last second of the game?
I mean, I feel like we've had more practice with that than anybody. We've had more buzzer beaters against us this year. I mean, it's just been crazy. That's why when we say for the national media that hasn't been following us, and we didn't expect you to follow us, when we say we did it the hard way, there are some bone-crushing losses where we did the right things and then last-second shots, you know, just for the wins against us.